the East Coast, we've got Chubbs, a.k.a. Sensei Vegan.
Drew don't sound so happy over there, brother.
I'm just collecting my thoughts about everything.
We about to drop some busies up in here tonight.
It was a pretty busy weekend. As most people, anyone who's down with the comic stuff and Marvel knows, this was the premiere weekend for the Defenders. It was the big closing number for this most recent wave of series that we've been piece by piece getting to, starting from Daredevil season 1 all the way up into the significantly less impressive Iron Fist season 1.
Shots fired so early in the show.
Yeah, so this show, be prepared. I feel like this is going to be just the topic of the show, just our lingering thoughts and low-key reviews and predictions on the show so far. This one was kind of interesting in that it served several different functions. It was, I feel, a bookend for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. It was an apology for Iron Fist season 1. And it was kind of a epilogue for Daredevil seasons 1 and 2. I'm gonna let you guys pick it up, but yeah, there's pros and cons to that, and there's things that I know for a fact I need to get off my chest before I go insane. Too late, but yeah, we'll start off with Charles and then Seven. You guys go ahead. What do you think?
Okay, overall, I thought it was. You want to go first, Seven?
No, you can go. Good.
Okay, I'll start off, and I'll kind of flip back in over the top. I'll do a triple Lindy back over the top. Come back in the back. But overall, I thought it was good. It seems like when you have all these, like a montage of all these different characters, certain ones are going to kind of rise to the top for you. For me, it was Jessica Jones, man. I don't know. I just dug Jessica Jones in this thing. I thought Daredevil did his thing. I just thought she was cool in this whole thing. It was pretty good. And Iron Fist, they did kind of redeem him a little bit. They still need to work his character, though. I mean, I can see why they did what he did. You know, he's a kid, he has a kid mentality and things like that. But they still need to solidify the Iron Fist character, if you know what I mean. You know, you can't have him running around one fist. That just...
notice, yeah. So, you go ahead. I'm not going to cut you guys off.
No. Listen, overall, I'm saying as far as the martial arts, the choreography, the trying to tap into the different personalities, I felt they gave everybody a nice, even flow.
Yeah.
They stayed true to, I guess, the vision of the different directors that did each different series and brought it all together really well. Yeah. But we can't avoid the annoying Iron Fist. Can't avoid it.
Johnny Rand.
All right. So, all that said... I was kind of okay with the issues that I have with Danny this one, just because I noted throughout the vast majority of this season, everybody just took team craps on Danny. Like, every free minute went to saying, you're the worst Iron Fist ever, okay? You suck. Iron Fist, a.k.a. the thundering dumbass. Everyone, including, like, villains and heroes alike, they all unanimously were like, dude, Danny, you suck. And the whole premise, it was so bad that at a certain point I started theorizing. I'm just like, you could have altered the entire scope of these series, these multiple season running shows.
Right.
And Iron Fist could have been held off as a show entirely and just introduced in the Defenders. Yeah. Like, he ended up being the plot. First of all, let me start there. The plot of this whole season was really simple. It was super simple to the point of they just had to keep repeating it over and over again. The story was pretty standard. They want to open a door to Kunlun. It can only be activated through the Iron Fist. Because of that, we're trying to kidnap Danny's ass. And then you have the others that assemble around him, and it's kind of like the keep away until you get to the big climactic battle. Oh yeah, surprise, surprise, Elektra's back too, and she's the Black Sky, the latest incarnation of the Black Sky. That's the plot. Alexandra, Sigourney Weaver's character, wanted to activate Black Sky and then get Iron Fist to have him open the door so he can get to Kunlun and get the substance, which I think was the stuff that was keeping them alive.
Right.
And there was no major twist. There wasn't a lot more to it than that. The rest was just them, bringing the characters together and all that
So
stuff.
what you're saying is that it didn't have to happen. He could have just been introduced into Defenders. He didn't need to have his own spin-off.
If they'd have sacrificed Iron Fist season 1 and just added 2 more episodes to the Defenders and made it a 10-episode season, first 2 episodes could have been just Danny Rand coming back. We don't know who this guy is. We come to find out in the first episode, oh crap, he's Danny Rand. We thought he was dead. He's masquerading / running from the hand, masked as this green dude in a freaking monk outfit, okay? Right. And this starts a chain of events, which brings in Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones, and they get introduced to Danny Rand in this story. Defenders it works as kind of a de facto introduction to the character, as well as a team up.
I don't think you needed a full season, and I think it would have been stronger if they would have introduced him just up and running.
Yeah, there's nothing that you learn about Danny that you didn't already know from the other season. And it's funny, he kept repeating he did that thing where he kept repeating who he was over and over again. I'm Danny Rand. They mentioned that you can make a drinking game out of a number of times. He tells people that he's the Iron Fist and that he's the sworn enemy of the hand. I don't recommend it, because if you tried to make that into a drinking game, you would probably die.
You would.
You would totally die. And it was fine. It was fine. I was okay. I can't say anything bad about him because all the other characters beat me to it.
Now, one thing I have to say, at least they did. I feel that they halfway through the Defenders cleaned it up. The first couple, I guess they say at this point we've already created this whiny, repetitive character. Let's just keep rolling with it. And I think somewhere halfway through it, they started to, because maybe production is usually a couple months back. I think they started to get the feedback and said, "Oh, let's clean this up."
Yeah, they made him put his big.
They ran with it, and they fixed a few things, especially when it came to the fight choreography and stuff. And even I kind of like that they were able to almost gracefully use that to their benefit to make the other characters kind of shine a little more. The scenes between Danny and Luke Cage were pretty dope overall.
Yeah, they were good.
That actually added to their dynamic. It reminds me, damn, a Heroes for Hire show between these two would actually be really good.
Right.
I think it would be really good.
Especially when they brought in the conversation of white privilege.
His privilege, yeah. I mean, it was
amazing.
Kind of spun. It was spun in a different way, but that whole scene was totally about white privilege, and I thought it was kind of great. And
because they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to go there.
They totally didn't have to. Yeah, they didn't have to at all.
Right.
But it was good. I feel like in general the characters played off each other well. Each character got their moment with the other just to interact and have those beats where you see their personalities bounce off and conflict and mesh and all that stuff. And it forms a pretty cohesive whole. My problem ultimately came in that the remaining episodes of the season, they feel kind of flat. It was anticlimactic for me because think about it. They'd spent all this time, Stick especially, just hyping this war that's supposed to be coming to New York, right? And when you think war, but involving the Hand, who's a clan of clandestine Illuminati-esque ninjas, I'm thinking there's gonna be dudes just swarming the streets,
out in the streets,
jumping off of rooftops, and we got a decent underground fight scene involving all the kids, which is basically just the lingering members of the Hand and the newly christened Defenders. It was just kind of anticlimactic. And then it was Daredevil doing the whole thing of, I'm going to let this person who's under mind control beat the crap out of me until they remember who I am.
I knew he was getting out. He's...
Yeah, so...
They weren't going to kill him off, so...
Yeah, it was it was put together pretty well, but it was a decent end to what should have been a crazy fight. In my head, because we always formulate these things in our head and we imagine what could happen. I'm picturing these dudes on the rooftops in New York, right? And you just got them going. Luke Cage, since he's the biggest dude, he's on the street level, right? With the cars and all the other stuff that he can use and rip off and use as fight fuel. And then you got Jessica, who can kind of fly. I thought she's going to be kind of moving in between. You got the rooftop stuff between Danny and Daredevil, and then you just had this army of ninjas being led by the Hand, by Granny Gao, again, who killed it.
Oh
Great
my
now.
goodness, I was gonna say that too, man. I was waiting to hold off on that
She
one.
played her position so hard, dude. But
Yeah.
I had this whole fight scene, like, put together in my head, and then it was, we're underground fighting in front of this giant tablet. All right.
Well, I would say one thing we've learned from Iron Fist is to just take it as it is. Because the bar kept on going higher and higher. We had Daredevil, which was good. I think it was good. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was really good. Then you had Jessica Jones. That script-wise story, the depth really brought everything a little higher. Then you had Luke Cage. So everyone's like, well, Iron Fist must be amazing.
We got too much. Yeah, we got three consecutive good shows.
Right.
And then a show that completely didn't deliver.
Correct.
So in retrospect, you could have just X'd out that entire show and just used Defenders as kind of like a backdoor first season for Iron Fist. And don't get me wrong, I know I'm already starting off on like the cons.
Right.
There were some really good moments in this season, though.
There were great moments.
There's one scene in particular with Luke Cage and the mom of the kid whose son gets killed in prison.
Mm-hmm.
When she breaks down and she gets through that, hey, your son was killed in his cell, and she breaks down and she says the line, I don't have, like, all my babies are gone, and Luke Cage is just, like, holding her. That scene legit got me choked up. I'm like, oh, damn, dude. So when it came to the performances that they got out of the characters, they enhanced a lot of what you'd already liked about Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, too. Like, it was just, there were a few moments in this that were legit great when it came to stuff that I've seen in the MCU.
And the supporting actors were really good, too. I would have to say that all the supporting actors did their thing. That it didn't break. A lot of times there's, they kind of break the fourth wall in a way because their acting is so bad. And I don't think anybody did that.
Who in particular are you talking about?
Well, let's see. I can show you what the audience is going to see. Hold on a second.
I didn't think any performances were really bad. I'm trying to think of, well, maybe Trish, because I don't think Trish really brought anything to the table aside from just being Jessica's friend. With her,
that was the
like,
weakest one because I think the writers didn't know what to do with her because she really didn't have to be in it.
Yeah, that boring ass talk show that she does is apparently a hit for some unknowable reason. I'm like, why is this show popular? It's so dry. Who gives a? Trish talk sound like it's such a boring, sleep-inducing talk show. I'm just like, dude, why are you popular? I guess I just have to suspend disbelief because you're.
Well, Drew, you made a really good point. Her whole role in that whole thing was to say that the Hand had a hand in media, and also the scene where everyone close to the Defenders needed to be under protection. That's it.
Under protection.
So she could have been in 2 scenes.
She's there to be. It's a flip side of when you have just a male character who has a female character, and she's just there to be his romantic interest.
Right.
Trish is just there to be Jessica's friend.
Right.
To make Jessica more normal by default, because if Trish wasn't there, Jessica would be just a recluse, and the average show watcher.
Well, she said that too.
Wouldn't have any reason to like really.
As far as like toward the end, like if you really need she made that toward Jessica Jones. She made that actual statement that basically she's not going to be on time. But if you really need her, she's the type of friend that'll be there for you, like in a club.
Yeah, she's kind of a crap friend until it pertains to like something in particular. So I'm like, all right, I guess, whatever. But one part that I thought was kind of funny is when they're getting attacked by, I can't remember if it was Bakuto or random ninjas. Jessica, who's not a martial artist.
Not at all.
She's getting her ass kicked. And Trish, I'm a badass because I've done 3 lessons of Krav Maga. I'm a badass. She's sitting right there. And I'm thinking, is this going to be her shine moment where she actually kicks in and takes the ninja off of her or something like that? No. One of the other characters comes in and saves her. So I'm like, you really are kind of, I don't buy the badass angle on you at all. Period. Claire kicks more ass physically than Trish does.
Claire will go in, man. She don't care. She'll go in.
And again, my girl Rosario Dawson came in and killed it. She's a great character. I love that they finally reference, well, it's like, look, dude, your talent is just coming across these extraordinary people and bringing them together. You serve a purpose too in the grand scheme of things. And in a lot of ways, she's a lot more useful than Colleen, who once again proves my point that unless she's fighting meatheads in a controlled environment or her own students, she kind of sucks as a martial artist and a superhero. She wasn't going to win.
She got filleted across the belly, bro.
Notice, every time she fought someone who was at least decent in martial arts, she lost. She took an L without assistance.
Yeah.
Without assistance, she was taking L's out here. I had to go on Facebook and start talking slick. I'm like, dude, here's Colleen again, out here taking L's like they're free Costco samples. And like,
oh my goodness.
Come on, man.
Dude.
Come on. They gave her, her own little closing thing. Because as I said before, a lot of the season actually served as like a bookend or like a closing, like an epilogue to a lot of character arcs. She got hers. I don't know where I stand. The hand was such a big part of my life. And I realized that she's kind of suffering from the whole cult mentality. Because the hand was a cult. She'd been indoctrinated into a cult. Yeah. And after she got out, she's like, damn, I don't have any sense of community anymore, which is what happens in real life. You have these people that have been indoctrinated into this way of thinking, and once they're removed from that, they have trouble readjusting to like everyday life. That was kind of cool. Again, who gives a crap? It's Colleen. She sucks.
And wait a minute. I got to make sure, because we can't let this episode end without saying my girl Jessica Jones did her thing.
Yes, she did. I said that at the beginning, dude.
Yeah. Without taking fuel away from you, I still think that Misty Knight low-key kills it every time. Every time she's on screen, I was instantly having a better time with her. And spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched it, the thing that we were all talking about finally happened.
It happened.
So
correct.
She's perfectly primed for her bionic arm now.
Yeah.
Why? Because she jumped in trying to save Colleen's worthless ass, and Bakuto cuts her arm off. And I'm like, oh!
Yeah, dude. It was like, wow. That was straight up almost Luke Skywalker. All she had to say was, no!
It was Marvel. If you notice, in Marvel, they always work in an angle where someone loses their arm because they're fans of Empire Strikes Back, and everybody has to lose an arm at some point in their stuff. So it finally went down. Colleen served a purpose. It's...
another thing that I like, as far as with the fighting, they kept everyone individual. You know what I mean? They didn't try to make Luke Cage into a martial artist. They didn't try to make, again, Jessica Jones. I think one of the dude, I love Madame Gal, like when they're fighting down in the parking garage. I'm like, man, what is she going to do? Are they going to have her just sit back?
No.
Dude, she going to push their big pile of blood. I'm like,
no, because Grandma has the Buddha's palm, okay? She's fine.
She was fighting down
with
one push. But the highlight to me, what was funny, Madame Gal was doing a force push. Jessica Jones is busted her doing cracks her right in the chest, dude. That was just too funny.
It was great. And they did have a really good dynamic in that not everyone was a martial artist, like you just said. And that was kind of a big part as to why they work in these action sequences, because Luke Cage is a brawler / boxer, and he's got a super strength. Jessica Jones just fights dirty with whatever she has in the street and uses her strength to her advantage. And then you got the conventional martial artists who are Daredevil and Iron Fist, and they all kind of like played off of each other to their benefit. They did a good job with that, I feel.
Yeah, that was cool, man. I enjoyed it.
So what did you think of Daredevil?
Danny started off kind of sketchy this season. He was like, him and Danny were kind of a burden. Matthew and Danny were kind of burdens this season. Because if you notice, Daredevil was on some I need to get Elektra back stuff, and he sacrificed them a couple fights in this one.
Yeah.
Right? And then you had Danny, who was just kind of he's the MacGuffin of the season. He's like a walking MacGuffin. He's the guy that can open the door and, release all manner of hell on the earth. But he starts off as kind of just sketchy. And then he's like, I don't want to be involved with this. I don't want nothing to do with you guys. Leave me alone. And then when he finds out that Elektra's back, he kind of gets the team's ass kicked in a couple places.
Yeah, he kind of folded. It made sense though with the script. I mean, the love of your life comes back from the dead. It's not like, not for Drew.
We've seen this happen so many times. We knew what he was gonna do. The theory that I actually formulated, or the idea rather, I thought would be kind of cool, is if you come to find out in the next season of Daredevil that he's actually possessed by the Black Sky, because they didn't explain. Elektra's not there, right? When he shows up in the, I don't know if it was the convent or with the nun or whatever.
Right.
Elektra's not there, which means that she either left him there and then bailed, or she didn't make it out. It would be kind of cool if Black Sky actually possessed Matt, and he's now kind of walking around with this ninja demon inside of him, and he's low key gone for a while. And then we use that as an excuse to bring my boy Moon Knight into the mix because it's kind of like his wheelhouse because of the whole Khonshu thing.
I tell you another quick thing. I don't know. I still think, and I keep getting on this thing because I guess that's just the writer in me. They definitely have to polish up Danny Rand, and I don't. Meaning that, he is the Iron Fist. He needs to be trained. I would bring in. This is going way out there. I shouldn't even say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I would bring in Constantine. And what I mean by that, if you can bring Whedon Constantine and maybe have him have one of the spirits of the other.
Whoa, wait. Constantine's DC, man.
That's DC, right? It's
Yeah,
it's DC. That's.
I
DC.
thought you were gonna say Shang-Chi, because he's apparently a better martial artist than everybody.
Yeah,
here.
Constantine's.
Constantine's DC. Shang-Chi would be a way to go, and again, Moon Knight, because he's a blend of both those
sides.
extremes. He's a street level hero, but he also has affiliations with the mystic and the arcane and stuff like that. And he's possessed by the god Khonshu.
They're gonna need. I think they're gonna need something to help balance out Danny to level out the character to get the rest of his training. You know what I mean? Because he's still running.
Okay,
To me, it's just incomplete.
This is why you have him be in Kunlun. This is why the entire first season should have been him just there to see what type of brutal training he goes through.
That's what I say the same thing. But now, you go back to everyone in Kunlun's dead. Basically, the hand went back there and effed everything up. So
wait a minute. Remember what she said. You saw what you wanted to see. So she did say a thing. No, it's not all messed up.
Well, they're basically leaving that as a maybe because they want to tease the idea of them going back to Kunlun and other characters actually being there. But you would have a way bigger interest in Kunlun and what happened to it if you'd actually seen the friggin' place aside from some random dragon bones and a mountain that looked off into nothing.
Dude, why don't they? I said that too. Why don't they just show it? Because I'm thinking, the wall's down. They're gonna show Kunlun, and I'm looking. I'm like, dang on, dude, they're showing a rib cage of a dinosaur or a dragon or something.
That's the most we see, dead Tyrannosaurus, and some dead Game of Thrones dragon bones, and a myth about how badass everything apparently was there. And every time that we see Kunlun now, unless something crazy happens, you saw what you wanted to see, which means they may or may not be alive. It's gonna be a majority of it. I feel is gonna be through flashbacks, like how they did in season Iron Fist, which is kind of played out.
But they definitely have to level him out some type of way.
So we'll see. I know that they're going to give Iron Fist a season 2. They're going to hopefully the reviews of season 1 was the inspirational kick to the ass for them to get better choreography and better writing. I don't think Scott Buck is attached as showrunner anymore, which I think may be for the best. But overall, it was good. Phenomenal, no, but they've set up a lot of avenues for them. I feel that the next wave already got Punisher coming. Mm-hmm. They need to give Misty Knight her own damn show finally. And they can introduce new characters, Moon Knight, Brother Voodoo. They could do a couple of things with it.
Now, I'm hoping they don't give everyone a season 2. I don't think it's necessary.
I don't think it's necessary. Everyone doesn't need a season 2.
They could switch off.
And I don't think Misty can hold down her whole...
I don't either.
I don't think that character can hold down a whole show by herself. She has to have other characters.
You'd have other characters in her will. Again, there's all the New York characters meet up with each other. So you have this open door policy when it comes to Misty Knight characters, Luke Cage characters, and Iron Fist. Because in the comic books, Misty Knight and Iron Fist, they link up and they have a kid. I don't see how that would work because I didn't really feel any chemistry from Danny Rand, from Finn Jones. And the other girl that plays...
They just write it in randomly. He'll eat some ice cream.
It doesn't really matter.
And just magically... Oh, my goodness. I never noticed you before.
Danny already has all the necessary features to make himself a close whatever. There's a connection between us just because you're Danny. But at any rate, that could be a thing. And Luke Cage and her, I feel, had the most chemistry. It's funny because you're watching the show and there's one scene where Luke is kind of a dick. He just gets finished banging Claire, right? Misty comes over. She knocks on the door. Claire opens the door. And what does Luke do? He walks out bare-chested. He doesn't take the extra 10 seconds to just put the shirt on and walk out. He needs to let Misty know, yes, we just got done banging. Here, let me show you putting my shirt on. Like,
Yeah, he kind of ran through the finger a bit.
For that one. He's banged, like, I don't know how many. So it's Jessica, Misty, and Claire. Most of the girls in the cast, he's like, you know, he's already two. So.
What they could do, though, to kind of get Iron Fist and Misty together. Remember, they said toward the end that Colleen mentioned that, you know, Danny has connections as far as in the medical industry to get her arm, basically get her arm fixed. So maybe if she goes to get it fixed, they kind of bond there. Who knows?
It'll be a departure from the comics because Tony Stark gave her the bionic arm in the comics. But that was the clue that Danny owns this place, so we're gonna figure out a way to get you a new arm.
Mm-hmm.
And they could, but again, I didn't really get any chemistry from them. But they'll if they want it, they'll figure something else out. They'll make some excuse. He just has to be there and be blonde, and then she'll like be in love with him or whatever. So that's we're good.
I think another good thing you were talking about before, as far as like the war, and you thought it was gonna be this big thing, ninjas running on the street.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been cool actually to bring in the I don't know if I'm saying the right one. Yes, it's Marvel. Yeah, I make sure I'm getting it back because I'm getting all these freaking universes kind of mixed together now. Bringing a Punisher.
Punisher?
I
thought that was going to be the big surprise.
You know what I mean? Have him come in, taking out some of the people on the ground just to get it revved up.
I thought he was going to show up with like a minigun or like a sniper rifle and just be pot shotting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The last act. He's a surprise character that came up in the last episode. It's just like, yeah, I got you. Bop, bop, but it didn't happen. So.
It didn't happen. Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Well,
yeah,
I like it overall. Anyone that didn't see it, definitely check that out. And for what it's worth, I can't imagine it without Iron Fist.
No, it wouldn't have been the same.
In fact, I can't imagine it without any of them. My prediction is that, Daredevil won't have his memory and he'll be leaded to do bad things to mix it up. And
he's going to have the magical amnesia, and he might be possessed by the evil ninja demon, and he'll be found by Foggy and Karen, who now know that he's Daredevil, and they're grieving, and they're going to be shocked that he's alive. And then
he'll start killing people and being the dark side of Daredevil that we kind of want to see.
The next season or two of Daredevil, we're going to see Bullseye involved. Mark my words, this is my prediction. Because we're 3 seasons in now, we haven't even heard of him yet. He's going to be the next dude that comes around the pike. Mark my words, that's my prediction. Bullseye's on.
I think they'll go to reverse. I think that Elektra will probably come back and save him. That's what I believe.
But we already got. I say that because we already got a heaping helping of Elektra, who unceremoniously just killed who was supposed to be the main villain of this season with Sigourney Weaver. Just put her.
I was surprised, man. I was like, I thought Sigourney might have had like some gas or something. It was just.
Nope, because she was talking way too loud, and the other members of the Hand, who were way more interesting than her, the other members of the Hand were just like, yo, she's talking too big, dude. She's feeling herself a little too much. And then Sigourney Weaver starts talking the yang, and then you just see, like,
double side.
That was great. I love that part.
She got double stuck, boy.
Double stuck, dude. So, there we go. Are we about to wrap it up? I think that's good.
Man. So, thank you, Drew.
Big shout out to Liberty Anime Con.
Oh, yes.
Everyone there, thank you so much. Making us feel at home. Great con. So again, thank you so much, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts. We had a good time there at the Liberty Anime Con in New York City at the Grand Marquis. So yeah, it was nice.
Cool.
Thank you, Sensei Vegan, aka Charles. Drew, do you have an AKA?
Beg your pardon?
Otherwise known as
psychopath number. I don't know.
Because every show you change it. I think every show we should have another Drew name. All right, folks. Michael. Yo, we're out of here. We'll see you next week. Sometimes we do double shows. I don't know if you guys are up for that, but we'll see in a couple of seconds. And you're watching ECLECTICKA. Have a good one.